So the reason for the stop is because you're keep veering off to the left, and then you're not stopping at the stop signs.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
What are you visiting?
Yeah, I'm on tour.
What are you doing?
World tour. I'm Justin Timberlake.
What's your name? All right.
By the way, these are like really hard tests.
So that's my friend in the back. He just got off stage. He's exhausted. He had a couple glasses of champagne. That's it.
Ma'am, he blew over the limit. We have to process
it. I do, but he's on a world tour. Tomorrow night there's 20,000 people waiting for him in Toronto. Can't you let me take him to the hotel and write a ticket or something?
Mr. Timberlake, is Esty okay to drive your car home? Do you care if she takes your vehicle tonight? You okay with that? Okay, thank you. Okay, Esty, Miss.
What's up, Duckers? It's Monday, March 30th. Am I right or am I lying? Checked it. I'm right. Hi. How is everybody on this Monday? How was your mother ducking weekend? What'd you do? Anything fun? Anything scandalous? Anything nefarious? Do tell. Oh, mine? You ask? My weekend? Well, this is a little hint. I went to the biggest expo with the largest amount of nerds all under one roof. Well, in New England. I went to, I don't even know what it's called, PAX. It's like a gamers convention. I don't know. That's what the family wanted to do. And I'm like, okay, let's go. And it's about like video games, not just Nintendo, just all video games. And then creators that play the video games that make millions of dollars just by people watching them play. So I was like, well, I love Princess Peach because she's a princess. So I picked up this bad boy at Mario Land in Universal Studios. We went this February, and it was super fun. Super Mario Brothers, super fun. And yeah, I walked around Universal Studios wearing this. Naturally, fucking grown adult. Why wouldn't I wear this? Come on now. So that was fun. I didn't get anything because I was like, after going to this, Mama is booking herself a massage for having to just go to it. I mean, it was fun parts. We got to play a Super Mario game that hasn't been for the masses yet, a new one. But just the type of people there too. It's fine. You know, everybody has their thing and it's not harming anyone. I definitely survived it. I did. Booked a massage after that. Didn't really need it. I was just like, you guys are buying all this stuff. What about me? Me. So yeah. I mean, to go to a place where there's so many things that are like, buy this, and I don't buy a goddamn thing. In my woman brain, you know, the girl brain, there's an imbalance. So you got to balance it out. Well, I need to go now spend money and on something that I like. I like massages. So, good morning. Yes, it's still morning. It's 11:09. We're creeping on up to 12 o'clock, almost lunch break for some of y'all. And let's say hello to the Duckers in the chat. I got my one and amazing. I mean, I don't have one mod. I'm just saying the one and only mod of them all, our gigolo mod, none of your business. Woo! Maybe I'll be Bowser. Ooh, don't get me, Bowser. I'll need a man to come rescue me. Ooh. All right, but let's at least pretend to be adults right now, right? Right? All right, she's got her hair straight today, straight. It was hair washing day. And for the girls that say hair washing day is every day. You're a liar face. Or you're very young. You got that young hair that you can wash it every single day, still comes out shiny and looking all fab. But for us women of a certain age, we followed the directions of our artistes that touch our hair from time to time. And they say, do not wash hair every day. You idiot. Dry shampoo was invented, and it's amazing. God, and now I'm going to be touching my hair. Emotional support hair. Emotional support hair. Dana's here. Oof. If I could never wash my hair every day, dry shampoo for the win. It's amazing. I mean, when it first was invented and then your hairstylist or hairdresser tells you it's bad to wash your hair every day, you're like, say no more. Say no more. Because it's yeah, and it dries out your hair. Come on. Doing that all the time. So, men, if your girl's like, what do you mean? I did wash it today. She did wash it today. She washes it every day. So get your hands all up in there and just tug at it sometimes and just, yeah. It's all good. It's all good. Good morning. Good morning. I don't see the chat, but I'm listening to you on my TV. I'm on TV. Cameras. I always know where the cameras are. And then I go, there's no cameras on me. I'm acting totally normal. Act normal. There's no cameras on me. But hi, y'all. It's Monday. So what else was the weekend? It was so fucking cold on Saturday too. Like, ew. Rude. Assaults coming at you. Like with the wind. And then of course, like, you see all these people. There was a little bit of a line going in. And of course I stomped my feet like, oh, a line? But no, it was fun to see all the people in line too. But people that didn't even have shirts on. It's like, I get it. You gotta be in character. One man was Hercules, but he was a pregnant Hercules. Come on. But, and fucking stop it. I'm going to stop it immediately. I am not going to shame these people. They had the time of their lives this weekend. It was probably something they were looking forward to for a very long time. They got together with their friends. They planned their outfits. They went in there and it was made. Their day was made. Their month was made. Maybe their year was made to be there. So yeah, it was cool. Took pics, took videos. Am I going to share them? Nah, we won't do that. Okay. I want to keep an eye on something though for you guys. There is a verdict watch happening because we just came off of like a huge high of Chelsea's verdict. It's like let's chase that high, right? Let's chase it. But there is a verdict watch for. I don't know if many of you've heard of it. It is Massachusetts versus Judy Church. Let me know. Let me know, chat. Have you heard it? All right. Judy Church, she is accused of poisoning her boyfriend with antifreeze. And they're already in verdict watch. I didn't watch the trial, but got word on that they're on verdict watch deliberations. So why not I keep an eye on it for you? I don't know. Did she, Dana? So Dana maybe knows more than I do about this. And Miss Jessica, good morning. Oh, also, fun size. I don't know if you're in the chat, but I don't know why, but I didn't see you the last time that you were here and in the chat. And I feel like an ass for not seeing you and saying hello. So fun size. Hello. Good to see you. So yeah, I'm going to keep an eye on that. And it's through Court TV. Let me just bring it up for you guys. Bring it up. So here we are with the Court TV verdict watch. So day 8. Wow. Only 8 days of trial. And it's so Massachusetts woman Judy Church is on trial for allegedly murdering her boyfriend, Leroy Fowler, by poisoning him with antifreeze. Investigators say Church administered the toxic substance, then called 911 claiming Fowler was in medical distress and must have ingested something. An autopsy later confirmed that Fowler died from ethyl glycol poisoning, the primary chemical found in antifreeze. Suspicious. So I briefly, while blow drying my hair, I briefly was looking at some of the testimony, and I guess they're saying she had voodoo dolls too. Oh, okay. My mod just modded. Thank you, Dana. Oh no, I don't know. Do we want to see that? She freaking videotaped it? I didn't like that. Okay. I mean, well, let's just show how it's showing evil. Oh my God. Sorry. I had not seen that before, and I'm just having a normal reaction. So yeah. So let's fuck this bitch. If this is true, Hold chat. I'm gonna bring it up, I guess. Oh, yeah. What a bitch! Sorry. No, I'm not. I'm having so this woman was just a girlfriend. I guess like she had said something to somebody at a bar that if he ever cheated, I would kill him. Gosh, kind of wish I knew about this so that we could see it from the very beginning. Hold on, I'll just go to here and pull it up. But wow. Okay. It says stop sharing. What was I sharing? Yeah, remove that. Thanks. All right. So trigger warning. Maybe. But guess what? I don't want to. But thanks, Lizzie. I kind of don't want to. I'm just going to comment as I'm seeing it live for myself. I mean, if you... Nope. I am going to do what I want to do. Because it's Monday. And I want to have fun. Before I make a decision, I'm not making any type of decision. I'm watching. I'm a viewer. Good morning, Salem. Mark. Long time no see, buddy. Yo. Thanks for stopping by. I don't want that on stage. But Lizzie Tish, I'm just going to play because I like to have fun. So I'm going to play. I'm going to bring this up and do my chat and my channel how I've always done it. Fly by the seat of my pants. My pants. Not your pants. These are mine. I'm wearing them. I put one foot in each leg this morning. All right, we got Fez here. We got Fez in the chat. And I'm trying to figure this out because... what happened there? Hiccup. Oh. Okay. Trigger warning. This might be yucky to see. Then disclaimer. I haven't watched this whole trial. So if you don't want me doing commentary on it or saying anything about it, and you would like to enjoy a stream that has covered it and has much better opinions that you would probably agree with because you have watched it, it is your right to go watch a different streamer. Okay. Here we go. Y'all have been warned. Yucky. I don't like this.
With the court's permission, play the videos.
Yes, you may.
Okay. Let's just read first. Judy Church Church records victim Leroy Fowler as he writhes in pain on the floor of their apartment. In the recording, Church says, "Fowler, what did you take? They're going to ask me." Church, who is accused of poisoning Fowler with antifreeze, contends that she recorded Fowler. I am messing up his name and I apologize, because she suspected that he had taken illicit drugs. But that's not what was found in his system. Antifreeze was. And Liz, her opinion on this case, because she's been watching it from the very beginning, so we should listen to Liz. She says, no, not guilty, but I don't think they've proved that she did it. Purely circumstantial. Thank you for your opinion, Liz. I get it. I have no opinion, though. I had a visceral reaction to watching a man suffering in pain, knowing that he's about to die. He dies. We're about to watch a man suffer in pain, miserable pain. What's up, Kristen? So, I have no opinions on guilt or not guilt at this moment. I just know we're on verdict watch. And she taped him suffering in pain. And now it is in court. For all to see. Trigger warning.
And just so these videos were actually split up into segments. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, there were 13 videos in total.
Okay. And each one of them has a sort of a time associated with them. Is that correct?
Yes, the November 11, 2022. And the time is associated with the created, the data where it says it was created, which means it was stored to the phone at that time.
Okay. So the first one that we just watched would have been stored to the phone at 7:29 a.m.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
So is she on the phone with 911 right now? Is that what's happening? Sorry, I'm reading. Liz has been watching. So Liz, take the floor. Although Dana's been watching too. I just watched Judy Church because it was local. I'm not really into watching 1 million of them, but once I started watching, it was so crazy. It is local. It's here. Is it on the North Shore? They were saying something about Salisbury Beach. It's in Salem. Again? Fail? Fucking right. Live long, Esther Reed. Fucking right. Hey, John Bags. Memberships are open. And I'm going to be doing members' eyes only. For members' eyes only. So, y'all, join the members only. Members' eyes only. He had 2 trials. He or she? Are we talking about different trials now? So she was a dentist? This is a knee slapper. I'm keeping an eye. I'm keeping an eye. Nothing's happening. Coming up on 7 hours, said somebody in this chat. Let's take this off. I am not interested. I don't know if all of you are, but I don't. Oh, okay. Ignore your, okay. So none of your business. It's none of your business if she was a dentist. She wasn't. Oops. And that was a horrible face. While we wait on verdict watch, I would like to say congratulations to Patrick Ford. You know, it was hard on my heart to let my mod go, but I knew he had bigger dreams. He had stars that he wanted to reach, and every night before bed, he got down on his knees and he prayed to those stars. His dream was to be a mod on the Jessica Machado show. And that dream came true for him. And who was I to hold back on that man's dreams? So I set him free. I took that wrench. Dear words, can you please cooperate with my brain going to my mouth? Thank you. I took that wrench away and I said, boy, I need to cut those duck wings off of you, stick them on your head, and make them bunny ears. Go be King Rabbit. Do your mod thing, buddy. And he did. And he is fucking killing it over there. He can mod like no other mod before, and I am one proud Motha Ducker. So congratulations, Pat Ford. The rest of ya, don't get any ideas, okay? You ain't moving any forward from here. I'm clipping your wings to stay. I will not be setting you free. Okay, anyways. He's an enemy now? Is that what we're doing? Why? Tell me. Nah. We don't need any more of those. There's too many enemies in these streets. Not for me. Not on my list. Speaking of lists, verdict watch. Still nothing. Okay. Cynical affirmations. When there's too much positivity, some of us no likey. You got to keep it balanced, right? A good balance. You so happy. Everything's coming up roses. Fuck that shit. Right? Yes, Jen. You tell the rest of them. Duckers for life. You can take a little splash in other ponds. See what's fit for you. Okay, here we go. I know I can't please everyone, but I am pretty confident in my ability to displease anyone. Oh my God, that's so me. Hold on. Dropped him. Yeah, I'm pretty confident in my ability to piss off some people. It just seems to happen. Listen, I annoy the fuck out of myself sometimes too. I get it. But simmer down there. I can understand. Yeah, I'm going to stop talking about this because it's blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Also, so apparently somebody wanted to be deceased. So we are going to allow that person, I guess, to be deceased. He no longer wants to be Earthside. So who are we to stop him, right? So I guess if that person wants us to play along, okay. But next time, let us in on the joke. Okay? And for other talking heads who I don't even know and will probably never know, your opinions were weird. They were just a little weird. I'm not friends with Barry. So for those to be like, for you to make content out of your friend, first of all, if I was to make content out of a friend, I would ask them, talk to them. But Barry and I have a bit of a history. And I'm allowed to talk about whatever I want, right? First Amendment. And our history has been pretty fucked up, and I'm still trying to understand it. So, Dana says, Fess, your Unsolved Mysteries marathons have really arming you with useful information. You walk into work and you realize you're the content. Everybody's lives are their own content. Your own experiences is your own content, and you get to decide what to do with it. You went outside. You saw a beautiful sunrise. You decided, I'm going to take a picture of that. That becomes your content. What are you going to do with it? I'm going to post it on Instagram. And I'm going to write a cute little headline to it or whatever. I'm going to comment on it. That's your content. You experienced a beautiful sunrise, and then you made the decision to share it. I was introduced to Barry by Barry himself. Take your seats, children. Barry came swinging in the door. I'm Barry. Listen to what I have to say. Okay, Barry. What do you got to say? What's up? I'm the smartest man in the room. This imaginary room. This X room. And I demand your attention. I demand your respect. Even though I do not respect your attention. I do not respect you. Oh, where did that come from? Oh, hi. I didn't mean to laugh at yours. I meant Miss Jessica. Every day should be magical, right? I mean, it's magical to even be sitting here with a camera in front of my face and people listening. Verdict watch. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. Weirdness all around, because guess what? If I hated the people and defended the people that these people were attacking me about for caring about Barry, to know if he was Earthside or not, if I hated those same people, they would have been applauding my ass. But they already have me in a category of whatever I do or say, they're going to have a negative comment, a negative opinion. I get it. So it's whatever I say or do. Ooh, emotional support hair. Emotional support hair. Ooh, it feels so good. Touchy, touchy. I'm going to say what all the other content creators say, okay? Because I'm lazy too. The stream before this, is a stream that was done on Friday about the person I'm talking about. But he's no longer Earthside. That is what he wants. So we should respect that, right? Right? Guess what? I don't know. Never been in this position before. Never experienced this before. So cut me some fucking slack. My reaction was my reaction. You're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't. No good deed goes unpunished. I got them. I got the sayings. You want them? I'll serve them to you. I'll serve them. So yes. Okay. I thought that was knifing at first, and I was like, knifing channel. Nice. Because any type of channel you want to start, if that's your passion, And if that's what you can share information on, awesome. Other channels, the things they're good at is drama. And there was a little bit of that last night. Yes, yes, there was. And hi, there's a certain someone that, if anything, is always consistent. Can always count on that boy to always give us what he's good at. And what's that? Screaming and yelling and getting so mad. Yes, I'm talking about Purple. He goes by the name Purple Kool-Aid. I don't know why. He just does. He's a personal trainer, though. So that I have a little bit of a question about. You are a person that cares about physical fitness and keeping your body okay. Don't drink Purple Kool-Aid. It's full of sugar and preservatives. Yuck, yuck. Not good. And, sir, your anger. It's scary for your heart rate. It truly is. I'll also say, Christy is my girl. And even when we were friends, and we are friends, even during our friendship, when she was helping out Purple Kool-Aid and vice versa, I guess, did it frustrate me a little bit? And I wasn't entirely cool with it? Sure. But I trusted in what we had. And I wasn't going to be somebody, and I'm not somebody that says you can't be friends with that person. Because, adulting. I'm not going to tell another adult what to do. I'm going to respect what they need to do for themselves and who they let into their lives. Just knowing that there is personal lines you don't cross. You just don't bring up that other person to that other person. Does that make any sense? I don't know. You're slapping some chalk on your hands for this combo. But hey, she's her own person, and I cared enough about her to just worry, because we all can see, he puts it out there, the type of man he is. And I just wanted to make sure that he wasn't eventually ever going to hurt her. And why, thank you. And last night, last night was sucky. That sucked. That wasn't cool. Not cool one bit. Especially when she took time and energy out to help him out with things. I wasn't privy to those things. I didn't want to know. But to see the way that she was treated last night, when the title of his program was about a different person altogether. And then he made it about Christy. But like I said, if there's anything about him, he's at least consistent. And it tends to be women. I mean, it was 2 women that he decided to do a show about. And it's, I mean, if that is what he wants to make his content about and put his time and energy into, and that entertains all of you, hey, it is what it is, right? It's entertainment until you're the subject of that entertainment. And from what I've seen, nobody's off limits. So he's kind of made his stance. You fuck with him, he's going to make you his content. Doesn't that feel good? Doesn't that feel good to be somebody associated with him? I don't know, to each your own. To each your own. Be entertained. Have fun, I guess. And maybe I'll be the entertainment next. It'll mostly be reruns. He's already done a number, but I'm sure he's got some more in his bag of tricks. Just not cool, in my opinion. But who am I? Samasa. Who am I? Ooh, 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 do me next. Ooh, 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 do me next. Salem 534 says, I only watch Emily Baker. Love her too. Melanie Little. Hi, Melanie. Esty and Project Fear. Ooh, Project Fear. And I meant to say to Team Brittany when she was here. Excuse me, what was that? My body made a weird noise. So weird, body. Team Brittany to say, tell Melanie, I said, hi. Because left off on a bad foot there, Mel. I don't know whatever it did to you. But it's okay. It's okay. What is people even... What's going on in Salem? All right, the other thing that I want to get into, what are we at? We're almost at 12. Ooh, I took screenshots of things I wanted to go over. Yep. That and that and that and that. Oh, so, Fox 25, Boston 25 this weekend. So a 16-year-old faces attempted murder charge after shooting in Boston. Not cool. Man injured after officer involved shooting in Brockton. Not cool. So I gotta go use the ladies' room because that's always me. So I'm gonna put on some daily dose of internet. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Entertain me, entertain me. You are the entertainer. Entertain me. I was looking for all my toys over here. Before we transition.
Review the verdict and the evidence. This court finds that both of you engaged in persistent cruelty, what the jury described as being mean girls. For that, each of you is hereby sentenced to 25 years in this.
Mean girls suck. Ew. Mean girls suck. Ew. Mommy, when I grow up, I want to be a mean girl. Honey, do you think that's really something that you should like strive to do and put your energy towards? And is that going to make you feel good and fulfilled? And is that the legacy you want to lead in your life? Yes, Mommy. Yes. Because people suck. Okay, but do you think that's really like something that you should do with your time? Is that useful, productive time? Hey, JJ. Hey, JJ. Yes, Mommy. And then when I have my own kids, they're going to see that I'm still a mean girl and I didn't grow up at all. And then they're going to see me doing it and they're going to want to do it too. And we're just going to have a chain of mean girls. Because instead of strengthening all of us women together, we're going to tear each other down. And then men are going to see that and they're going to say, there's a real lot of insecure women out here. Maybe they need a strong man to help them feel secure about themselves. Put mean girls on chains. Okay, get that one off the screen. Hello, everyone. This is my potty break. We're going to share that screen. And enjoy while I go use the restroom. Play nice.
Your daily dose of internet. Staff at this restaurant in California had to restrain this robot after it randomly started dancing.
My mother died just last November. What is that noise?
Brother, what the hell? Why the hell are you sat down like that, bro?
So I guess these twins are different in at least one way.
Oh, is your foot dirty? Oh no, you got some mud on your foot? Oh no. Oh, clean it off. Noah, what are you doing?
왔어? 앉을래? 앉아. 편하게 앉아.
He experienced betrayal for the first time.
I was tripping, dude. Like, this do not look real, bro. What the bro?
This is what termites can do to your bookshelf.
Probably see me again.
Yeah, look at that.
No, all the way, all the way. Oh my god.
No, that's
Some of these are not very good. Oh, you got that's definitely. Oh, that's satisfying.
Bye.
Stop it. Put up.
So my mama ordered some bedside tables from Walmart. Look at the bedside tables, y'all. Hold on.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Okay.
7, 8, 9. Exactly 9 minutes back. 8 to 7, 50. This is my phone. Yes. Just flip your phone and check the time. All of you. Just flip your phones.
No. Okay. I can't stand shit like that. Nope. When things go wrong. Nope. Hate it. Hey, would you look at that? I got 1,500 in here, right? Because YouTube's messing up the numbers. So yeah, I got 15. That's our usual. 1,500 in the chat. That's how many usual is in here. Cool. Nice to see the same numbers. Consistency is cool. Okay. The robot just wants to party. Doesn't everybody just want to party? Party. Okay, what else did I write down? What I want to do is going to take up too much more time. I think, let me see how long it is. 1 hour and 2 minutes. I think we can do it. So yes, you guys remember the whole big controversy that happened at the Coldplay concert. Remember? Hey, me for more see scatty stains. Ladies and gentlemen, she is here. And she is awesome. So yes, the whole thing with the man and woman that was seen on the Jumbotron, and he says, oh my God, who is so fresh and so clean. She washed her hair today. I just blow dried it. It's just straight. But yes, Chris Martin, that was his name. Nobody told me in the chat. It's mine. I did it. I get a point for brain power. Because names are horrible for me to remember. Faces, any day. I can see somebody's picture of a baby and I'll be like, that's so-and-so as a baby. Like, I'm a visual learner as well. That's why it's school wasn't my jam. Nope. Didn't like it. Visual learner. Physical. Let's get physical. Okay, shut up. take this off of stage. So yes, train of thought. Let's go. Choo choo. So the Coldplay concert, and Chris Martin sees them on the Jumbotron and is like, is that person? And they immediately let go of their embrace. And he's like, they're either having an affair or they're shy. And then it was on TikTok. It was like just news stations covering it. Like it blew up. And it just, yeah. Like everywhere. Broke the internet. Broke the internet. Friggin', oh, what's her face? Kardashians. See? Names. Kim. Look. Kim Kardashian was like, oh my God. Like, I am only supposed to break the internet. And this couple broke the internet. Mom, Chris, we've been outdone. So I just peeked on. Oh, stop it, Susie. So did I. And I want to share it. It was good because it's a lesson. So all of y'all who don't want growth, who just want to keep being trolls because you love it and makes you feel good about yourself, it just fills that missing piece inside of your dark soul. Get out of here. This isn't for you. But if you are a person that likes growth, likes to learn, likes to hear a different, or not different, but likes to find out the truth after, listen, we all judged it. We all didn't know the full story, right? It was just there. We picked them apart. We tore them apart. We used our own traumas or insecurities to then make yourself feel better about seeing that, and then seeing, well, at least I didn't do that, or blah, 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 at least blah, blah, blah. But this was eye-opening. So let me share it.
This would be the only on-camera interview that you're planning to give. Why did you decide to be here today?
So Coldplay's Kiss Cam just broke the internet.
You've seen this video, right?
1,000 times.
Yes, I think everyone has seen it.
Take us back to the night of the Coldplay concert.
Growing fallout from the Kiss Cam moments seen around the world, sparking dozens of memes and videos.
It is crazy how big this is.
That was the first time you all had physically touched. That's what you said.
All right. I hope y'all don't mind. I hope you're fast auditory listeners. I'm going to bump it up to 1.5 if that's okay. But if someone in the chat is like, whoa, fucking A, slow it down, I will most likely oblige.
To us earlier, you hadn't even touched.
This couch.
Oh.
My imagination so much. I have been watching it like if it was porn over and over and over again.
I did not know the crucial part of that story that was missing from all of the TikToks. I'm going to let you share that.
Sometimes people call just to harass her and call her a homewrecker.
Do you still talk to Andy Byron, your former boss?
Death threats? Who's sending death threats over this?
Why do you think there was so much hate? Hi there, and thank you for joining me here on the Oprah Podcast. My guest today is Kristen Cabot. And while you may not recognize her name, I am guessing that you will recognize her face from the most viewed video of 2025, the so-called Coldplay Kiss Cam.
Either they're having an affair or it's very young.
Has been watched 300 billion times. Doesn't that shock you? It shocked me. And when I was told, your mouth is open. That's exactly what I did. When I was told it'd been watched 300 billion times, I said, how is that possible? There's only 8 billion of us on the planet. Well, it's because people watched it over and over and over. It was made into countless TikTok memes and recreated at sporting events and concerts around the world. And in just 15 seconds of footage, Kristen found herself in the eye of a public spectacle, a storm that swept the internet.
I also just want to say, Kristen is here. Kristen is Earthside still. Could you imagine? So this is also, I don't know, to show other people, like, imagine something like this with 800 billion people watching. And look at her now. She's on Oprah telling her story. And I'm sure she's not healed. But oh, Nanya, just wait. All right, hold on. I'll just keep going.
In a matter of hours. And she is the woman seen on the Jumbotron at a Coldplay concert in Boston in the arms of her boss and CEO, Andy Byron. And Kristen was the head of HR. And for Kristen, those 15 viral seconds, really, 15 viral seconds opened up an unstoppable floodgate of people mocking her, vitriol, and even death threats. And this past December, she first broke her silence to Lisa Miller of the New York Times. And the headline read, "The Ritual Shaming of the Woman at the Coldplay Concert." Kristen Cabot, welcome. Thank you for agreeing to do this.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for doing
Thank you.
So after reading Lisa Miller's article, I asked my team to reach out to you, and you were hesitant. But then we had a conversation on Zoom, and you decided that this would be the only on-camera interview that you're planning to give. Why did you decide to be here today?
Yeah, first I want to thank you for having me. I was reluctant to come, but I'm really grateful to be here. For me, my mom always taught us silence is acceptance. I think I mentioned that in the article. And for me and my family, what happened was not okay. And I felt like by remaining silent, it was somehow accepting what had happened. And I really felt also there's a lot of people out there that experienced something similar that didn't either have the strength to come forward or were too traumatized or lost their lives due to some of the things I experienced. And I feel a sense of responsibility for those people to speak out and share what it's really like when people carelessly comment, forward, click, like, and the damage that it can really do.
So yes, you and I spoke on Zoom. I said, first of all, before the story in the Times, I didn't know the story. I was like everybody else. I didn't watch it hundreds of times or even more than once.
And like, look, so she says like silence is a form of acceptance of it. And sometimes silence in certain situations, I believe there's certain situations that, yes, your immediate reaction is to, you know, call out the lies, clear them up, set the record, blah, blah, blah. But doing it in a way where you're just telling your side. And also giving yourself grace to process through it, because sometimes people just don't even want to listen and don't even care what you have to say. And sometimes you just have to wait. As frustrating as it is, wait it out until it's worth your energy and time. And possibly more will be willing to listen rather than attack and shut you down.
But I made the judgment that you had made a mistake and you're out with your boss. And I did not know the crucial part of that story that was left missing from all of the TikToks that were shared. I'm going to let you share that. So take us back to the night of the Coldplay concert and the decision to go to the Coldplay concert.
Yeah, that's a great question. I had been going through, I'll go a little bit before that, if that's okay.
Yes.
So maybe 4 or 6 weeks prior to the Coldplay concert, my husband and I had decided to separate and were living apart and planning for a divorce. And Andy Byron, my boss at the time, he and I had a very close working relationship. For anyone that's worked in tech in a high growth startup, they'll understand that the chief people officer and the CEO are partners. We work side by side around the clock. It was a high growth startup that was growing at 100% year over year. We were hiring like crazy. And so we were really in it together and spent a ton of time together. And it was about around the time that Andrew and I, my husband, had separated, and Andy, I have the same name, so forgive me for trying to keep up here.
Yeah.
Andy and I had gone out to grab sandwiches during the workday, and he asked me, I seemed a little off, and he just said, "What's going on?" And I said, "Well, my husband and I are separating and planning a divorce." And he immediately let me know that he was in the exact same situation, that he and his wife were living apart. They were planning for a divorce, and it had been many years in the making. So that became like a really instant kind of point of connection for us. And over the next, few weeks to months.
Did you all know that? Nope. I didn't know that. So she was already separated. And her boss said the same thing.
That was a place that was really great for me to be able to go to talk about what I was going through, and I was a good safe space for him. And I think probably my friends.
Did you both talk about what it was like going through
We
this
did.
separation?
That was where we started to build a bit of a stronger connection. And I was really surprised when he told me. We didn't talk a lot about our personal lives prior to that, so I didn't expect to hear that from him.
Right.
He had been married a long time, so I just assumed all was well. So leading up to the concert, like at that point, we started talking a lot more about personal things and kids and how it's going and all of that, in addition to the busy and frequent work conversations. And
were you having more lunches? Was it becoming?
Yes, we were. It just felt like a really familiar, like safe place to talk about what was going on. And it's so much easier when someone else is in it, in the same experience. We could share that. So we developed feelings for each other during that time.
Because were you attracted to each other?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. And that's why, when people would say, oh, they didn't look like friends in the video, like that was the culmination point of feelings that had developed over the course of 4 to 6 weeks. I would say.
So when we spoke over Zoom, you said that was the first time you all had done anything publicly. That's the first time you'd actually shared any kind of
physical touch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
at the Coldplay concert, the first time I touched you?
Yes. I'll explain. I'm here to share what really happened. So I know. There's a lot of context there. So I had friends that had gotten tickets to the show. They asked if I wanted to join it to extra seats. I never go out. So it's kind of a joke amongst my friends, let alone on a weeknight.
So wow. Not sleeping together. Not an affair. That was the first time they ever physically touched. And it was like a backwards hug. Didn't know that either.
I'm usually with my kids or I'm working. And I had just gone through a pretty tough period. And I was like, you know what? It's summer. It's a weeknight. Like, I'm going to go see, I love Coldplay. I'm going to go, or loved Coldplay. But that kind of got ruined for me. I'll be honest, not the biggest fan anymore. But it was like such a no-brainer to invite Andy. We when I say we would talk like 10 times a day, that was even before this connection started. It's just the nature of our job and our working relationship. Plus we were, enjoying spending time together. And it just seemed like we've been.
I just want to be clear. What time had you spent together before?
Lunches at work.
So everything had been business up until the Coldplay concert?
Yes.
Whoa.
Absolutely. Though we'd had a lot of personal conversations and had acknowledged that we had feelings for each other.
Okay.
Also, it was becoming apparent to me that we were putting ourselves in a situation where it was going to get risky from a work standpoint. And I reported to him. It's my role is to actually be aware of those things happening at work and flagging when it might cause a problem.
So was there, I always say that there's a whisper and then there's a pebble and a brick and a brick. Was there a little whisper saying we should tell somebody or we should?
It was more than a whisper.
Okay,
it was like a real conversation where we sat down and said, we have to figure out a plan for this because these feelings are real. This wasn't like a fleeting thing. And we decided that we put kind of a plan together, but we wanted to propose to our board of directors that would change the reporting structure.
Didn't you tell me that you were thinking about going to the board or you all were going to go to the board?
We ironically met probably 5 or 6 days before the concert. We had a lunch that was a lengthy lunch to talk about this and to make a plan. And
the plan was to go to the
board and let them know that we had developed feelings for one another and that we wanted to change.
And that it was consensual.
It was consensual, and which is an important point, 100%. And we wanted to propose a plan for what might work to make, take this reporting line out of.
Talk about bad luck. It was all in place. They were going to tell the board. Just the Coldplay concert. That had different plan.
The equation.
Meaning you reporting to him?
Meaning no longer reporting to him, but perhaps reporting to one of our investors, something like that.
All right, that makes sense.
Seemed like it made sense at the time.
Yeah.
It felt like the right thing to do. And then I got the invitation to Coldplay. I invited him to come. It was sort of a non-decision. It was just kind of like, hey, we got tickets. Do you want to come? And it's like, great, let's go. And I thought, if we've kept it.
Why didn't you ask one of your girlfriends?
Well, I was already going with my 2 best friends who may or may not be in the audience right now.
Okay.
They were, one of them was already going and the other one's the one that offered me the tickets.
Okay, yeah.
And he's the one I wanted to hang out with. We had a blast together.
Okay.
And we've been keeping it together. Like I can go to work and be normal. I can go to a concert and be normal until I couldn't, obviously. But it was just, it seemed like a fun plan.
Got it. So he said yes.
He said
obviously.
yes. Mm-hmm.
And this was the first time you all had done something socially other than meeting for lunches and discussing business.
Or grabbing drinks after work with colleagues and things like that. Yeah.
So you get to the concert and what happened?
Well, I was walking into the concert and my daughter messaged me and said, oh, it's so great that you and Andrew were both at Coldplay. So she let me know that my estranged husband was also at the concert.
So I think it's very important. This is what I did not know before the story. And y'all obviously didn't know either. That she was separated from her husband and that her boss was also separated or said he was separated from his wife. Did y'all know that?
Nope.
Okay. All right. Or that her husband was there. This is the thing. So you get texted from one of your children.
Yeah, my daughter was like, this is so fun. Great. I was like, and in my mind, I thought, well, is this going to be weird if he sees me with Andy?
Or you run into him.
Yeah, if I run into him. But then I was like, I'm in Gillette Stadium. There's 55,000 people here. I'm probably not going to run into him. But It doesn't matter. I mean, that would have been better at the end of the day. But
And isn't that funny? Gillette Stadium here in Massachusetts, Foxborough. Verdict watch. I just checked. We're good. Still no verdict. Okay. Proceed.
just run into him. But it's, he knows how closely Andy and I work together. He knows we socially got lunches and got drinks. It was fine.
So he knew that there was a relationship there.
Yes.
He
knows the nature of my work and the way I've shared desks with the CEOs I've worked with. Like, it's just a very close, and so it didn't matter to me.
Okay, I got to get to the moment.
You got to get there.
You all hadn't touched. That's what you said to us earlier. You hadn't even touched.
Well, we did that evening before we got. I mean, we started to touch before it was on camera, but that
Okay, but that was the first time you all had physically touched each other's
correct.
Okay.
Other than like a tap. When you're chatting with someone and you.
Okay. Yeah. So what made you do it then?
I had a really big crush on him, Oprah.
Yeah.
And so did he. I mean, these were like really incredible feelings. And I don't know women that could relate to this, but I had been going through a really tough time. I was coming out of a separation, and it felt really good to get attention and affection from an awesome man. It felt
You're
good.
leaving out a key point here that you shared with me on the Zoom. High noons.
I would love to talk about the high noons.
Yeah.
Can we take a moment?
Look at Gail going, what is that? Gail has never drank anything other than what?
I like poor Gail. Gail has never touched alcohol. But hey, I don't touch alcohol anymore either. Just a personal choice. Never had an issue with it. I just don't see the need for it in my life now. And I'm old. Ain't got time for hangovers and shit.
A good Shirley Temple. She likes a good Shirley Temple. So she just looked. I saw you. Look, what is a high noons?
I want to talk about the high noons because that became a big topic on the internet for some reason. I told Lisa Miller in the New York Times article that I'd had a couple of high noons and we were dancing and we got swept up.
All
in
you
the
need is a couple.
I only had two. So
I mean, two that make you feel like.
Well, that's
Gail used to ask me all the time. I see you getting yourself all liquored up. What does it do for you?
Yeah.
I'm not getting liquored up, Gail. It's just a vodka tonic, okay?
Right.
So it does make you, Gail. Alcohol makes you feel a little looser.
Frisky.
Frisky. Not even frisky. It's just a little looser.
Yeah, a little looser. And my only point in mentioning it to Lisa Miller, had I known what would have happened, that because suddenly I'm blaming it on alcohol and suddenly none of that is true. I simply mentioned it to set the tone of the vibe.
Yes,
you're at a concert, it's summer, a couple high noons, you're dancing, you're having fun. Everybody, maybe except for you, Gail, has done that and knows what I mean. It's just an easy, a fun feeling, and that was the vibe that we had, and that's why I shared it. And by the way, I think
Gail said, "Do you have a lemonade?
Yeah.
And could you add a dash of cranberry juice?" Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
So So a couple of high noons.
Yeah.
You're feeling really great, and you're at a concert, and you love Coldplay, and everything's going well.
It felt really good.
Yes.
It also, I should note, it felt really anonymous. And I feel like I need to explain that too, because it didn't look that way on the video. Where we were was at the complete opposite end of Gillette Stadium from the stage. We were in an area called, I think it was called the Pavilion, but it's a big general, it's a sectioned off area where there's no seats. It's general admission in this section, and it holds about 250 people. So we were in that area, and we were kind of up at the front of near the railing, but we were with a group and with friends. So we were dancing and talking, and it was really dark, and we got very swept up, and it didn't feel in any way that we were risking being, and it wasn't even calculated where we thought to ourselves, oh, no one's looking, let's put our hands on each other. It wasn't that. It just was a natural.
Okay, so let's go to that moment that we have all seen. Have you all seen it? Okay, let's go to the moment we've all seen. So you're swaying. I don't even remember the song. Do you?
Yes.
What was the song?
She'll never forget that song. I miss a good wine, but since menopause, I can't tolerate any at all. Do share. I feel like I'm getting there soon. Oh. I mean, it's not, I'm going to start to have to I don't know, do audiobooks and stuff on that wonderful, wonderful time that all of us women get to experience, right? As if it's not enough for having a woman's body. A woman's body, man. And then the psychological things it does to us. Once a month, we turn into this creature that you don't know how she will react. You don't know how. She will just snap. Or she will just start crying and you'll be like, what the fuck? And you'll be like, just think about it. Once a month. Once a month, you have to be very, very aware that your woman, God damn it, you fucking mouth, will turn into something you will not recognize. That is when you need to then turn into something you might not want to be, but for the sake of your, I don't know, life, you just say, yes, honey. What do you need, honey? Or you see her coming around the corner, you run. Or you immediately go in the other room, shut the door. Just don't poke the bear, okay? Because you know that bear will growl and scratch and really need some chocolate. Okay, carry on. Let's carry on. I don't know why I got on the topic, but menopause, yay for us!
Yellow.
Okay. Let's Gail. Yellow.
I used to love Yellow, Gail.
Yeah. So you're swaying to the song, and then you suddenly see yourself on the Jumbotron. You turned around. He ducked. Okay. So you see yourself. Take us to that moment.
Yeah. That was a moment of total horror, is really the best way I can describe it. My immediate thought was, oh my God, my husband's in the building. He was there with someone else, and I knew that, and that was great and fine. But he and I were in the midst of our separation, incredibly amicable. Like to this day, he's been one of the biggest supporters of me through all of this.
Yeah.
He's an incredible man. And the last thing I wanted to do was embarrass him. And that was my first thought when I saw myself in that moment.
Isn't there an instance when you're looking at yourself on the Jumbotron? Because I remember Gail and I had gone to an event, Gail Maria Shriver and I, and for the Pope, and there's Gail on the, remember you saw yourself and you said, who's that red-haired woman? And I go, that red-haired black woman? That would be you. And so is there a moment when you say to yourself, oh my God, that's me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was like a split second where it was like almost, I mean, to me, it's like surreal. I can't even really remember, but I do remember looking and being like, oh my God. Like I said worse than that, I mean, in my head. But my initial thought was, oh my God, Andrew's here. And my second thought was, oh my God, I'm in the arms of my boss and I'm the head of HR. Like this is a really bad look.
Yeah.
Everybody assumed I was horrified because it meant somehow I got busted having an affair. Like that is not what was happening. I felt like those two reasons were big enough for me in that moment to be really horrified.
Did you even hear?
No. So I wanted to share that too. So we were all like dancing, and when there's music playing, you're talking, you're kind of whispering in people's ears or yelling in their ears. We were talking and with my friends too, and we didn't hear Chris Martin say we're going to pan the audience. Like we never heard him warn that he was doing that, and we never heard him say they must be shy or they're having an affair. I had no idea he said that until like days later, or the next day. I don't remember. It was a blur after that night, but I didn't know that at all. I whipped around like Oprah. If we were at a Celtics game and we got put on the Jumbotron, I'm going to whip around. I'm not a Jumbotron girl, even on my best days. It's not my thing.
Yeah.
So I would have probably done some version of that. But in that moment, I was just horrified at.
And your first thought was Andrew, your husband,
and my job,
and your job.
Yeah, and irony of the whole thing, or the naivete of the whole thing, is the entire ride home. We were in an SUV with a group of us. All I was worried about was Andrew. I kept saying maybe he left early, maybe he didn't see it. That was what I thought was the biggest problem I had on my hands.
Why were you worried if you were already separated?
Because we were in the middle of going through our divorce planning, and it was going really. We were doing it in a really amicable way.
He was there with somebody.
He was there with somebody, but I didn't. Andrew comes from an incredibly private family in the Boston area, and I just knew in my head like the public embarrassment is not something that would have gone over well.
Okay, so your first thought was Andrew. What did you all do immediately afterwards? So you turned around and Andy Byron ducked, your boss at the time, ducked.
Yes.
And then did you all immediately leave?
So he and I left the area, the general admission area behind that had indoors, had like a bar area and some like tables set up.
Did you leave with your friends? Or did
No, he and I left the standing room area, went through the doors and sat down at one of those tables, and we're just like, what just happened? Okay, what is going to happen? And or what happened?
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain. And that's when I was like, oh my God, Andrew, he was going through his head of what he was worried about. I was thinking about my stuff. And then it was really towards the end of the concert. And about the end of that song, I think my friends came through the door and they're like, let's just get out of here. And so we all left the stadium.
And what were they thinking?
They were just like, oh my God, I cannot believe this is like getting struck by lightning.
Yeah.
How on earth? And I can't believe that just happened to you. That's like the worst luck. And then we were in the elevator heading down, and a woman in the elevator was like, wait, was that you on the Jumbotron? And I was like, no. And then my friend Elena looked at me and was like, is that what we're saying? I was like, we're saying, no, that wasn't you. Like, should we huddle up on this? So we just didn't know we had no concept that this was
so you were worried about your husband who you're separating from.
Yes.
And the woman that he's there.
I wasn't really worried about that. I didn't want to embarrass him.
Okay, so
and I didn't
worried
want to
about your husband. You're worried about your husband that you are now separated from. Was he worried about anything?
No. Do you mean?
Andy Byron.
Oh, yes.
What did he say he was worried about?
Oh, none yet. We know I would be throwing a leg behind my head. Duh. That's what. Yeah. Oh, Jumbotron. Oh, look what I can do. Leg wrapped around, toe pointed. Look what I can do. Right? Or. And then I'd faint. And then the whole stadium would go, oh, she fainted. Is she okay? And I'd be like, no, Chris Martin, you need to come save me. I am not okay.
I don't want to speak for him, but I think, we live in that area. I think, he's going through his own separation and divorce. I think he's not looking to
And he's
embarrass.
your boss.
That was the other big, it's really bad in our roles to have been caught in that position. And that was, we do live in the area. The company was based in New York, but we've both had 25 or so, 30 years in our career in that area. And
the one thing I want to share with you all, I've had only one other conversation with Kristen on Zoom prior to this interview a couple months ago now. And the one thing that I appreciated in that conversation, which you can share here, is that you kept saying, I made a mistake. Mm-hmm. It was a mistake. Mm-hmm. I shouldn't have been out with my boss, but it wasn't a mistake that I deserved to die for.
Correct.
It wasn't a mistake that I deserved to have people coming up to me on the street and saying I should die because of it. It wasn't a mistake that deserved people threatening me and threatening my children. It was a mistake. So that's what you told me.
That's right.
Do you still feel that
Absolutely.
It was a mistake?
Absolutely. And I've been telling anyone that will listen, I own the poor decision that I made in that moment. And I've paid an unimaginable price for that.
Yeah.
I also, that was why I chose to leave my job, because I think I put the company in a position, given how viral and toxic this became, a position that you can't come back from.
Okay, so let's go back to it.
Yeah.
So just walk us through it. You all leave. You're like, what just happened?
Yes.
And then what happened?
So we all piled into a SUV. We had all ridden together, and there were 6 of us.
Yeah.
And it was a pretty tense car ride home, but I was hand wringing over Andrew's seat. It was just ridiculous looking at it now, what I was most worried about. Andy was pretty quiet in the car.
Yeah.
And our friends, nobody thought, it was like, oh, that was such bad luck. Like, hopefully no one really saw
Okay,
you.
so tell everybody, you get home and you're thinking, we're going to tell the board tomorrow.
Yes.
We're going to go to the board and tell them.
Yes.
So you all didn't you
He
come up
came
with
to my apartment.
Yes.
Andy did.
Yes.
And we were like, we have to
come up with a statement.
We have to talk to the board immediately.
Yeah. Did you come up with a statement?
No, we drafted an email together to send to the board from both of us to say we need to speak very first thing in the morning. Most of our board, actually all but one, were on the West Coast.
Hey, feds, fuck off.
So we wanted to make sure they
drafted an email to send to the board.
That's right.
And then you go home and you
go to sleep.
And
again, not
really
thinking.
And in the middle of the night,
I got a message from Andrew, my husband. I feel like I need to keep qualifying because they're the same,
yes, of course,
name.
Yeah.
And he sent me a text with a snapshot of the TikTok video and said, you need to, basically, I don't remember the exact words, but it was like, there's Houston, we have a problem here, and he really wanted to get to me so I could get to my kids who were teenagers, before they woke up and got on their phones and saw it.
Right. So your teenagers are not his children.
Correct.
Yes, but your children have a great relationship with him.
Incredible.
Yeah, because you all had been married how many years?
Oh, less than 2 years.
Okay.
We met during COVID, and he immediately built an incredible bond.
Wow, less than 2 years with the husband that she was separating from. And her children weren't the children of her husband, the one she was being separated. So she was married before. No judgment. So that's
kids, and they're very close still today.
Okay, so how did you find out that the video had blown up the internet?
I'm trying to remember. It's like such a while. That next day was so hard.
So when Andrew calls you and says,
there's this is happening on TikTok. I'm not on any of those apps, so I didn't see it. I couldn't see it personally. I had no sense for it initially personally. I've never had TikTok or anything like that, but he let me know.
You didn't know what it was.
Yeah. And then in the morning by 7 or 8 a.m.
Can you all imagine this? Can you imagine?
It just, my phone started, a lot of phone calls started coming in from my friends. All my close friends were just like, something's going on here. And I wish I could remember how long it took from being kind of a problem to realizing it was.
No need to hit send to the board.
Yeah. Well, we did have a call with the board immediately. And
just my opinion, but I have no idea. But I don't know. She did really, really, really well in her career. Like, she was the head of HR in a very prestigious company. And maybe she was just more career oriented, long hours. Some men can't, I don't know, handle that, or that's not how they envision their family being. And so we don't know. I'm not going to judge, though.
They had already heard about it at that point. But they were actually.
Yes, also that none your business. Some men don't like women earning more.
Really understanding, and we had a really good conversation about it. And they were very.
He resigned.
He hadn't resigned yet. He did that a few days later.
Okay. And then did they offer you? They wanted you to stay.
Yes.
They wanted you to stay.
Yes, they did.
How are you going to stay?
Well, that's the problem. I mean, that was the conversation I had with them. Had it not gone so viral and gotten so toxic, I would have gone back in and taken the punch and stood up in front of the company and said, I'm a human. I made a really poor choice, but we're building something incredible. And let's get back to it. And hope that they would be okay with that. But that was not an option. I did not feel like I could go in and say, hey, everybody, do as I say, but not as I do. And I felt like it would put everybody in such a bad situation. And it just wasn't fair to the employees.
And that's integrity. She saw it that way. She couldn't be somebody that would be hypocritical. And so she had to take a hit from a career that she worked so hard to get. And it's also like taking accountability.
I appreciated that the board was behind me, and I appreciated they did go through an HR investigation and it yielded nothing. And I appreciated that at least internally there, I got that support.
Yeah.
But it wasn't viable. It wasn't fair to ask the employees.
So why do you think that this went off like a bomb? Was it Chris Martin's comments in that moment that maybe you were having an affair?
Mm-hmm.
Was it the fact that Andy Byron ducked, or that you turned around? Was it that he was the CEO and you're the head of HR? What is it?
I think it was, I've thought a lot about that. I think it was a whole combination.
I know, Jen.
It was a combination of all of those things. I felt in the initial moments, I'm sure it was funny to people. I can appreciate that. I've certainly seen funny things online and forwarded them around and clicked on them. I just don't think people really stop and think about there's real humans behind this.
There's a life there.
And it is incredibly destructive. And I listen, I've seen funny things and sent around too, probably not giving it a ton of thought before this happened. I'm thinking very differently now than I was. But I think people thought it was funny. I think our world is, news is a really sad thing to watch. I think we are constantly inundated with bad news.
Yeah,
and
I've heard some people say that video seen 300 billion times by only 8 billion people on the planet was the thing that united people, that people were united in their judgment.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And I feel bad for us as human beings that that's what we did to you.
Thank you.
We were all united in the judgment of whatever it is you were doing, you shouldn't have been doing it. And we could all actually agree on that without knowing the story behind the story. And I heard that there were people that advised you.
Without knowing the story behind the story, because we didn't care. They were just two people that we automatically pushed judgment on, thought we knew the entire story just from seeing that, and decided these two individuals needed to be destroyed, buried, no matter what.
That everything would blow over in 3 days. Who the hell told you that?
I wish I could say, because you'd all be shocked, but it's a very prominent person in public relations that I spoke to that said to me, you have triggered such an avalanche of hate for whatever reason that people are not going to be open to hearing from you right now. They're not going to believe what you say. Your best bet is to stay quiet, keep your head down, and then let some time pass and then speak up. And I this is not my world. I don't know. And I really believe what she said. And I guess it makes sense. I could tell that there was so much hate. I thought maybe that is better.
Why do you think there was so much hate?
That's been one of the hardest things for me to reconcile, because nobody knows me. Nobody that judged this knows me. So it wasn't me. Listen, I think a lot of people have had not great interactions with HR. I think there's some piece of it that's like, stick it to the HR lady. I get it. That's kind of funny. I think, it was incredibly cliche on every level, like the CEO and the chief people officer. And I think, I don't know. I just think people hurt people. And I think...
Well, there's a lot of hurt people 300 billion times. So the New York Times wrote that she's been called, quote, she's been called a slut, a homewrecker, a gold digger, a side piece, the usual tags for shaming women is what Lisa Miller wrote. And you told me that you believe that women are apt to, quote, eat each other alive, and that most of your criticism has actually come from other women, that other women are the only ones who dare to come up to your face and say horrible things.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Let that sink in. The first thing, hurt people hurt people. It is a cliche of a line, but it's true. I'm not going to say that that's 100% what it all was. I think there were just some people that were just surface level about it. It was entertainment, they didn't care enough to like dive deep into it, see what was really going on. It was what was being fed to them through social media. The people that were doing the TikToks and the YouTube presentations about it, if they were, I don't know if they were, but those were the people that maybe had the responsibility of doing the deep dive on it. If they cared about the people that were being the content, which, I mean, why should they care about those two individuals? But if it was them or if it was their family member, I don't know. It's sucky, but this is eye-opening.
That was for me, I think other than obviously my concern for what my kids experienced, that was to me the most upsetting piece of all of this was I had no idea how unwell we are as a gender still. I think I was living in a really lovely, naive bubble in some ways where
Yeah, and then the women, again, like I said, the women attacking the women and what it shows to the male species that fucking women are crazy. Look at them like tearing each other down. Like, yeah. It shows that like, is there ever, I don't know. These are just my thoughts and opinions. I don't really know much about it, to be honest, because it's sucky. It really is sucky when you see it. Especially when, society is already so hard on all of us as it is. And trying to live up to those expectations and everything. And then women, we're the ones that knows what it's like to experience being a woman. I mean, we're just having conversations about menopause. And our monthly gift, and us as women, we're the only ones that know what that actually feels like. We're the ones who actually know what it feels like to be pregnant, to then give birth, then to be responsible for taking care of that child and breastfeeding them and all that other stuff, and but when it comes to like judgment and tearing each other down, we're like the worst at it. And I don't think I will ever make any sense of it other than just trying to understand that just some people are not going to like other people no matter what. So you can't satisfy everybody. And you shouldn't have to satisfy everybody. You have one person in this world to satisfy, and that is yourself. Be okay in your own skin. Realize and know that you're not a perfect person, and achieving to be a perfect person is setting yourself up for failure. People are going to say horrible things, and the way to give those people that are saying horrible things power to hurt you is by listening to them. But you take the power back by realizing the person who's saying those things about you, would you actually take real life advice from that person? No. I certainly wouldn't. And then you also have to look at how they're living their lives. Do you care what that person says and thinks about you? I forgot God. Yes, whatever higher power you want to surround yourself with and follow through in the teachings of. I am not a very religious person. I grew up Protestant, and it wasn't a choice of mine. It was just what your family, what your parents, they kind of make that choice for you. Knowing that they love you enough that that's the right choice that they have for you. But as you get older, in my opinion, not to get too religious, but I believe that you have the responsibility of knowing what's right for you in your heart and your morals to then decide what faith you want to guide you through life or, pray to. And again, this is just my opinion on it. Yeah. And I believe everybody should just have a positive entity that they carry with them through life. And, just hold yourself accountable and know that karma does exist. You put out negative energy is going to find you. Even if you try to keep ducking and weaving, it's going to come back to you. Okay, let's continue.
Surrounded myself with, and I'm so fortunate to be surrounded by incredible women that have supported me, through thick and thin. I do the same for them. And I don't know women that tear each other down. That's not been my own experience. And at work, like I've been really intentional about the women that work with and for me, like bringing them along in their career, giving opportunity, mentoring, and helping them. It's just not, it was such a shock to me. I think I was told that 90% of the online comments and hate came from women. Every single interaction I had in person, and there were many, were all women, like you said.
Since we had our conversation, I was thinking about this. And I say this, not just because Gail is here, but it's pretty publicly known that Gail went through a divorce and her husband had an affair. And Gail always says that there's a lot of members of that club. There's a lot of women who are a part of that club of with partners who betrayed them with other women. And I think that for a lot of women, you became the face of that. Do you all think that that you became the face of the woman who took my husband, the woman who would take my husband, the woman who, that's where the hate is coming from. That. And I also think that if you look differently, you would have probably had another outcome. I think you are the blonde ideal, the girl next door, all of that. Am I being truthful here or what? Yeah. I think it's the whole package. It's not one thing, it's everything.
I do think there was something people attached to me that triggered things within themselves. I don't think, now that I say, I don't think they don't know me. It can't really be me, but it's something I represent. And I think that, I think about my own triggers and things that are like unhealed inside of me. I try to think like what makes me feel a certain way, or it's my own fears that are not quite healed. I think
So the question is, did he get the same kind of vitriol? Andy Byron, your boss, were people coming up to him?
No, not at all.
Attacking him, attacking his children?
No.
Yeah.
And I mean, just thinking about, starting from the very beginning, every single part of my physical appearance was picked apart. There were stories written about jewelry I was wearing and who bought it for me and how much it cost, when one of my best friends is a jewelry designer and I've bought everything for myself that she made me. And it's, my hairdresser somebody found, and that turned into a whole thing where she was dragged for giving me crappy highlights. And she got lit up for that. And just everything about how I looked, to how I was dressed, to how I behaved, to, the sleeping my way to the top, to the gold digger, to this, all the words that Lisa used, the husband stealer, which by the way, that expression really bugs me. And I'm not trying to make light, obviously, of adultery. It's not that, but this notion of women stealing men, like I would walk in and duct tape and zip tie a guy and like unwittingly drag him out and steal. Like the man has no role in this. This is, and for me, like I was the face of all of this. There was no one talking about Andy's hair, shirt, watch. There was no one questioning, and maybe anyone here can correct me. I never read or heard anything about.
Isn't that fucked up? It's just so fucked up. Thinking that it's just the woman that is just the responsible one. And then that's the one that's going to be attacked. Her appearance, what she's wearing, her hair, like just why? Why? Team Brittany, good morning. I was doing a shout out to you earlier and I wanted to tell Melanie I said hi. Okay, continuing.
Wow, did he become a CEO by sleeping his way to the top? No. And that's all anyone would say about me. It was unfathomable that I might have achieved and worked and hustled and built a career I'm incredibly proud of. That was not on the table.
Your best friend, I heard, told you that these people hated you before they...
See these stigmas that we have? And we're still here in 2026. Oh, it's the woman, so she must have like slept her way to the top. It doesn't like enter your mind that maybe she worked hard to get to where she was in her position.
Even knew anything about you. Do you think that's true? What do you think that is?
Yeah, I think that's what you touched on a few minutes ago. I think I represented something for people that they were afraid of in that moment. And I can have empathy for that. I think if you're going to snap to a judgment, you're going to have, I don't have empathy for people snapping to a quick judgment and just assuming and using zero critical thinking skills, but I do have empathy, or I do have understanding for why that would trigger people. So I'm trying to...
Because you look like you look.
No, because I think, I'm the way the story was narrated for me without my input was I'm, having an affair with my boss and we're running around and we're on the company credit card buying. It's probably what a lot of women worry about when their husbands are out on work. I get that. I can understand that.
Yeah. So you share custody of your two children with your first husband. And how has this impacted your children?
This is the tough one. It was a nightmare.
How old are your kids?
They're almost 15 and almost 17. So they're at an age where everything,
so they were 14 and 16 when this
14
happened.
and 16. We're still in it. They're doing really well.
Tell us about the place you went someplace. You went someplace and your daughter said, "Mom, can we just leave?" Because
we were at the local pool. This was a few weeks after I decided. It was probably in later August when I felt like safe to. I tried to going out. Tried to go out. My daughter and I went to the pool, big hat glasses, all the things. And a woman at the pool started taking our picture in a really not subtle way. And my daughter just lost it. And she's like, "We need to just leave." And I was like, "I'm so sorry." I didn't. I was not in a position. That's funny. The version of me before this concert, I would have marched right up to her and grabbed her. I mean, I'm not a shrinking violet, but I became, a very a different version of myself. And we packed up and left.
Do you think that you were taking on the guilt and shame that other people were trying to put on you?
Yes and no. I felt tremendous guilt for the effect it was having on my family, and I felt responsible for that. But I knew what really happened, and I didn't feel shame for something I didn't do. I wasn't questioning I knew the mistake I made. I was really clear on what that was, but I was also really clear that it doesn't deserve the treatment that I got. It doesn't deserve, being made to feel that you should die.
Can you share with us what those first hours, days, and then weeks were like? I mean, how low did you go?
It was dark. The first weekend after the concert, I rented an Airbnb and went up to the mountains in New Hampshire with my dog, thinking I was just going to let it blow over and come back. I really didn't understand because I cut off all access to the internet and social media and everything. I went away thinking, it was sort of like the beginning of COVID when you're like, we'll close the office for the week and we'll see you in a week. And then you're like, see you in 2 years. It was sort of like that. I thought I'll just go and disappear for the weekend. But when I came back,
do a self-care day.
I did. Yeah. I was like, I'm just going to regroup and relax and not.
You thought it would blow over in a few days as you had been told.
As I've been told.
Yes.
That definitely didn't happen. But I came back to my house that was a place that was really like my safe space, as your home typically is. And it became a place that was as unsafe as any place could be because a local radio station gave out my address on the air. And for whatever reason, the whole world has access to my phone number. And I guess I don't know how people do that. But so from that day I returned, there was paparazzi there for weeks. They wouldn't leave. I had people trespassing and looking in my windows. We had people doing drive-bys and yelling and honking. We had my phone.
With your children home.
Yes, with my children home. My phone was ringing around the clock and just vile text messages and voicemails. That's probably a couple of days in when the death threats started, but they were also just perverse, disgusting messages. I got emails constantly.
Were you afraid? Were you scared?
I was terrified.
And your children were really scared because your children overheard you speaking to your mom.
They did, and they heard one of the death threats. My kids asked me not to spend too much time talking about them today, but I'm comfortable talking about portions of it, and that's one of them. They were terrified for me. They're really protective of me, but they were also really scared for what this meant for all of us. We're not used to we're really private.
Like when your kids are hearing that you're getting death threats, kids think we're going to lose our mom.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's what kids think.
Yeah. That's exactly what happened.
Kids think we're going to lose our mom.
Yeah.
Then they have to now be afraid for you.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And, I've been a single mom for a while, and they, I think, already lean into taking care of me more than I'd like them to do at their age. Like, I've got it, until I'm good, but they've always been, they're really sweet and, empathic people. So they really they're always kind of keeping an eye and making sure I'm okay. So this kind of elevated all of that.
In all this, I think a lot of people at this point have experienced online vitriol or people saying horrible things.
Yeah.
And sometimes there's something that just is said and it cuts you.
Yeah.
Especially if it's untrue. Did you have one of those moments where something was said and it just brought you to your knees or made you not want to get out of bed? Or
Yeah, it was, and there's actually a few, but the one that just came to mind first was the piece around sleeping my way to the top at work. I've worked in advertising and technology, which are really male dominated industries. And I've spent my entire career fighting against the stereotype of, I must be sleeping with someone and I've been so intentional about how I move through my work life. I've never been involved with anyone I've worked with before. I have been working since I was 13 and, my mom had us out really legally working early on. And, I never stopped. And my career was my identity, for better or worse. And this has been a wake-up call around that. But that was I had tremendous pride in what I had built. I love what I do. And for that to be a whole entire narrative to be written that takes that away from me, it just gutted me in a way that I can't explain. So it was really that one. I think, obviously being called all these horrible names it hurts. I have a friend that said to me.
That's a tough one though, about I see in the comments, saying about, giving the radio station. The thing is, you can Google addresses and numbers they're out there. And if somebody really wants to be able to hurt you and make you feel that your privacy is not private, to make your safe space not seem space, to make your security feel unsecured, they'll go to the means of doing it. They'll do any ways necessary. So that's a hard one. And I'm sure she was picking and choosing her battles, and maybe her real focus was just putting her life back together for her children and her family, rather than, full-fledged fighting and suing. I'm sure her head was spinning in a million different directions, not knowing where to land on.
Recently, why would you take criticism from people you would not take advice from? And that really hit home for me. And I thought about it,
criticism from people you would not take advice from. You hear that? Why would you take criticism from people you would never take advice from? Let that sink in.
It's a great point. But I did.
It's a great point, but when you're in the middle of it, it's hard to feel
That's
that.
right.
Yeah.
And it hurts. Like, and it's easy to say, oh, ignore the trolls, or ignore but it's really, hard, I mean, it's really hard to ignore that. And it gets really personal.
Yeah. Did you have family that were there for you?
Yeah, my family's incredible. And you asked earlier, like, how low did it get? And I do need to say that if I didn't have the family that I have and the friends that just wrapped a big warm blanket around me, like, I don't know that I would have made it through this. And had I been the 25-year-old version of myself, I would not be sitting here.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah.
It was really horrific.
Because when you hear the number, I think it was you who told me the 300 billion. When you hear the 300, how is that?
And by the way, that doesn't include social media. That's just the internet. How wild did it get on? I don't know how wild it got on social, but I think it was wilder than just like the different tabloid websites. But that 300 billion is on the websites alone.
Yeah.
It's really disturbing.
And so, how did you get your children through it? When you become the meme and everybody knows it's your mom.
Yeah.
How did you get them through that?
It was tough. I mean, we had a lot of conversation in the beginning, though. I mean, I was not momming to the best of my abilities. I was pretty broken down. We had, for better or worse, we had a lot of family visiting last summer. I had a lot of people staying at my house, my brother and his family, and a lot of guests. So I tried to kind of pivot to just like life as usual as best I could after maybe the first month. And we tried to just get back to it, like go to the beach, like try to do some normal things. It was hard because people were not shy to come up to me in front of my kids. And I had a group of women that I was at my son's, where he works. He works at a surf shop at the beach near our house. And a group of women surrounded my car and in front of my son and started to, harass me verbally and kind of make it hard for me to move my car.
Salem, no. Respectively, I'll just say no. That's all. I'd really love to fill you in, but there's a lot. I don't want to get into it. Not today.
Away from where they were, and it was hard to explain that to my kids. They were really lucky to have their peers show up for them in a really supportive way, but they were struck by how horrific grown-ups were acting, and that's a really hard thing for me to explain to kids. That why. Because I didn't even.
Do they even understand why? Yeah, because how do you explain to them why the people are hating you so much?
Right. I tried to explain to them what you described. Like, I think I'm representative of something that touches a lot of fear in people. I didn't know. I was trying to figure it out myself, and I wish I could have showed up for them in better ways than I did, but I did the best I could do in those moments. It was really hard. Going back to school for them was really hard. They didn't want me on their campuses for the first semester or trimester. So I missed, I didn't go to games. I didn't go to parent conferences. I couldn't go to parents' weekend at my son's school. But the schools were wonderful. I worked with them closely to make sure the kids were supported. And like I said, their friends were great.
Do you still talk to Andy Byron, your former boss?
No, I ended communication with Andy in mid-fall. There was a big miss on honesty and integrity. He didn't.
All right, this is an important part because this is the other 50% of what happened. She was involved. He was involved. She got the hugest brunt. And now here is her boss, the information on him about this.
He wasn't the person he represented himself to be to me. And lying is not a non-negotiable for me.
What does that mean, actually?
It means he missed the mark on being as honest as he could have been with me. And at the end of the day, Oprah, I was the one left.
Meaning he wasn't separated? Because what you're implying to me, what I'm hearing is that he really wasn't separated. Is that what you're trying to say?
I want to be really careful because the world spoke for me and on my behalf, and I don't want to do that to somebody else in their family. I don't feel comfortable. But I will say, a lot of what was represented to me was not true.
Okay.
I also want to.
That was a very nice, professional way of saying he lied to her. He told her he was separated too. Why? To get in her pants? Hello? I don't think she's scorned X. I don't think so at all. I think he didn't want to lose the wife and the beautiful life he's created. He wanted a little side piece, I guess. And told her that he was in the same situation, which led her guard down, and kind of emotionally connected herself to him a bit more too, because, we're both going through this same thing in our marriages, and they could lean on each other or just felt like a connection too.
Say that being left.
But will you verify again, as you said to us earlier, that he had told you, when you told him you were separated, he had said to you he's going through the same
unequivocally.
thing? Okay.
Unequivocally.
So you believed when you were standing with him at the Coldplay concert that he was separated?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Zero doubt. But I was left holding the bag. And I don't, being the one that was attacked for this with, he's remained silent. To me, that's not a quality that I would look for in a friend or a partner or a boss. So we have no relationship.
What would you have wanted him to do or say?
I mean, the entire trajectory of this would have changed if he would have just made a quick statement to say, my wife and I were separated at the time of the concert.
Just a quick statement. That's all. Right? Is that so hard? For any sort of situation? When a lie is maybe put out there or the wrong narrative is out there? Just a quick little statement. If you know, you know.
Just like my husband did. But it didn't matter when it was great that Andrew did that, but it also, I was still left with, the tone changed a little bit. Okay, so she was separated, but he wasn't, so she's still a homewrecker.
Okay, one moment and one split second decision can change the trajectory of anybody's life. Yeah. Why do you, I'm always, whenever something particularly this big happens, I say, what are you trying to teach me, God?
I know.
You didn't have to use this big a lesson.
Yeah.
I could have gotten with something smaller. Yeah. Have you looked at this in the bigger picture of your life? Why did this show up in your life this way? And what is it here to teach you?
Yeah, I mean, that's the $1 million question. I think about that every single day. And I do believe, I got knocked off my course for a reason. There's something to learn here. And there's bits and pieces that are coming into the light for me. I'm really understanding, and I had no concept of this, how when something goes this viral, how the technology companies are benefiting from this, and how we don't know that when we are forwarding and liking and clicking, we are putting billions of dollars in their pockets.
You're just creating an algorithm.
And creating an algorithm that feeds it. And the more pain someone like me is in, the more money they're going to make. And it fuels it and feeds it. And I think there's accountability there.
So much nodding. So much nodding. I'm nodding.
That needs to be looked at. I think I'm heartbroken at how women are treating other women. I want to, one thing I don't know the answer to yet, but is how can my experience turn into something positive to keep that conversation alive and try to figure out why are we doing this to each other? We're so much stronger together. Why are we eating each other alive? And holding each other back. And why do we take such joy in seeing other people suffer?
Yeah.
It's really scary.
It's so interesting. Once you've been through something like this and you see somebody else going through it, it creates an empathetic moment for you to want to reach out.
Why? Why do we take so much pleasure in watching others suffer? Why? That's docked up.
And say, I know what that's like. Right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I did that. I reached out to a family. There was a girl who was, I don't know if you heard about this. She was 4 years old, receiving zillions of death threats because she was helping her dad, who's a radio personality, pick out football teams. And she started to miss the mark on the choices, and people started threatening her life because she was screwing up their gambling publicly. They were threatening this 4-year-old girl. And I reached out to her family, and they were lovely. And I mean, it's so scary what they're going through. I mean, it's happening all the time.
It's also, my producer said that Daryl Hannah recently released a statement about what was going on in the Kennedy love story.
That's right.
Yeah.
I actually.
Okay, pay close attention to Dara's statement here. And I want to read the essay she put out, but listen.
I wanted to share a quote if I could from that. If you haven't read her essay in the New York Times this past week, it's a beautifully written piece, but it struck me deeply. And there was a part where she talks about how Jackie Onassis used to say to her, there's going to be horrible things in the news. It's going to,
because Daryl Hannah was dating
John F. Kennedy Jr. And Jackie O said, people are going to write horrible things about you, but don't worry about it. It'll be lining a birdcage tomorrow. And people will, the newspapers will be lining bird cages. Don't worry. And she wrote, I quote, this was from on the 6th of March, in the digital age, stories do not disappear. Yesterday's news is not tossed out with the morning paper, and lies live online forever. They are archived, streamed, clipped, memed, and resurfaced endlessly. A dramatized portrayal can become, for millions of viewers, the definitive version of a real person's life.
They think that's history.
That's right.
Yeah.
So that's exactly, I wish I knew Daryl Hannah so I could give her a huge hug, but what she wrote about was encapsulated my experience to a T.
Yeah. So where are you now in the healing process for you and for your family? You're supporting yourself. You're supporting your children. Have you started to look for work again? Has Andy Byron, I heard, has gotten offers from other places?
Lots of interest.
And I
think he has the luxury of staying silent, and he can go back to work when he's ready. I don't. I feel I have to remind myself I'm not on trial, but I have to, in order for me to get back on my feet, I have to come out and explain And I think that's a stark difference between the man and the woman in the situation. I have to explain and justify. And I feel like people, when I speak up, they think I'm trying to be famous. If I don't speak, I must be guilty. So I'm trying to figure out the right balance there. And for me, I'm raising my kids alone. I'm financially responsible for my kids alone, and I need to get back to work.
Yeah, because people are going to criticize you for like, why are you talking?
Yeah, if I talk, I'm trying to prolong my 15 minutes of fame. If I'm not talking, I'm.
Yeah. So again, you decided to talk because
I felt, like I said in the beginning, like I can't stay silent and accept what has happened. And I do feel like it's important that people understand the real story, and also how harmful it is to just make assumptions and judge and feed and fuel something that created this narrative.
But you're so right. I knew that Andrew, your husband, that you're getting a divorce from, had made a statement saying that you all were separated at the time. But you're right. We never heard from Andy Byron. And if Andy Byron had done that, it would have changed everything, I think. Yes.
That's right. That's right.
Don't y'all
Shame on you, Andy Byron. You took the coward way out, in my opinion. Stayed silent, hoping it would just go away and you could move forward, while this hardworking mother took the brunt of it all. That's fucked up. And I am a huge nodder, by the way, and I don't know why. My nodding, I feel like, is like an empathetic reaction. Because when someone's saying something that I agree with, instead of just staring at the person that's saying it, and if they can see me, like, I want them to know, like, I totally agree. Like, what you're saying is resonating. And because sometimes people need that instant approval, I guess. I don't know, to make sure, like, am I making sense? Am I resonating with someone? And in a way, I feel like by doing that, you're giving off, like I said, like agreement and instant feedback to that person. And I can't help it, because I don't know, I guess I put myself in their shoes and thinking I would want someone to know, like, am I way off? Like, does anybody agree with me? Should I be putting my foot in my mouth? Like, I don't know. Yeah. Team Brittany. They want to know they are understood.
think so? Everybody would have thought, oh, they're both separated. Okay. Still her boss, still HR, still not
great,
good.
but a lot less interesting to the general public, I think. And I do think, Chris Martin being a celebrity and that adding to it, I think helped with this, this thing going viral for sure. I think when you bring a celebrity into the mix with private people, I think it gives it more.
Yeah. And before we go, I said to you backstage, which I do with all interviews that are important. All interviews are important, but not as important as you wanting to make this statement here. I always ask people before every show, and I've been doing this since 1989, actually. I ask people before we go out, what is your intention? Because I want you to be able to fulfill exactly the reason that you came.
Thank you.
I'm glad that you came. I'm glad that you were willing to have your first, and you say only interview with me. But most important, I want you to be able to say and fully, not get home and say, oh, I should have said, or oh, she didn't ask me. What is it you feel that you need to say or that you want people to know before we leave?
Yeah, I want people to know that I'm just a regular person. I'm a private person. I didn't ask for this. I didn't ask to be famous, and I have no experience dealing with all of this. And I'm a mom that takes my kids to school and picks them up at practices and tries to juggle work and work and parenting. And I'm someone's daughter and sister and friend. And I really want people to understand what happened and what harm it does to real people's lives when you mindlessly fuel a fire like this. It's incredibly dangerous. And I'm so grateful I have the tools I have that I can sit here and talk about it, because so many people don't make it through it. And it's tragic. And I want people to just be kind. And it sounds
especially
funny,
women to women. I know you were upset because you felt that there were other women who came out and should have been more supportive, you felt.
Yeah, I just think we're holding each other back. Like, let's stop. And I think it's a conversation that needs to be had over and over right now. Like, what is going on with us as a gender that we take such pleasure in holding each other back and hurting each other?
Yeah.
It's really
I heard
scary.
you were upset when there was a commercial that Gwyneth did. Gwyneth Paltrow? Yeah.
Yeah, that was really disappointing to me. I felt like Gwyneth's someone whose company is founded on or framed around uplifting women and women's well-being. And she doesn't need the money. I don't know why she felt she needed to throw gas on the fire and get involved in all of this. It just felt really hypocritical to me and unnecessary. And I think, I don't want to let Ryan Reynolds off the hook either. He produced the ad, he created
Ryan Reynolds. Gwyneth.
it. And his wife has just gone through something really similar over the last year. And I find it really kind of astounding that he thought this was a great way to lead, you know.
Well, I will tell you that I called Gwyneth and I asked her about this. And so this is an official statement, but I did ask
Oprah called Gwyneth.
her if it was okay if I shared what she shared with me. And she said that she was told that you and Andy Byron had signed off on that commercial. And she said she would have done it if she hadn't heard that you had signed off on the commercial. Had you signed off on the commercial?
Liar face. Sorry.
No.
Yeah.
And she communicated that to me as well.
Okay. Because she also said, she also said that she sent you an email and that she hadn't heard back from the email. So I just wanted to say that. Okay.
She ghosted Gwyneth Paltrow. Boom! Awesome. Celebrities. They are just human beings given this platform because they're actors and they have talents and they're good looking and they have money. Doesn't mean you're off the hook, Gwyneth. Oh, Gwyneth sent me an email? Okay, all's forgiven. This badass ghosted her. Love it.
Thank you.
Okay. So when that commercial came out, did you feel that was just fuel on the fire?
Absolutely. I mean, it made everything in that moment and for, ensuing days, it made everything harder. It made it a lot harder for my kids too. I think when a celebrity gets involved like that, they're teenagers. Like I said, they know who she is. They know, and it just added to it in a way that was so unnecessary. But people have their own needs, and I can't speculate as to what those are. So it happened, and I can just.
And you're saying that you've been most disappointed by the reaction from other women.
That's been the biggest thing for me. And I don't know. I wish I could fix it. I wish I could understand. And honestly, I'd love to sit with some of these women that are so angry at me and really listen and try to understand what it is about me, or what would they like to have seen? I don't know. I'd love to have a real conversation about what it is that makes them so angry.
We can make that happen if you want to.
I really would love it. I'm being deadly serious. I have a real need to try to understand and have empathy for people that are hurting. And I'm feeling so much hurt that I can't fix it, but I would love to understand it. That would help me heal too, to better understand why people are so angry.
Yeah. Is there anybody here who had seen the video who was angry? Yes. So were you one of those angry people?
I wasn't angry at you. The first thing that came to my mind when I saw that video was everything done in darkness comes to light. And I pass judgment and I take ownership for that. It wasn't nice. And it's not the type of example that I should make for my children. As a mom, I empathize with your plight tremendously because unfortunately children are the casualties of these. They take the brunt of a lot of this. But one thing that I think is really important, and I was the woman who was at home and who didn't know. Okay, after 17 years of marriage. So when I saw that, it really hit home. But the most important thing that I've learned through my journey is that the only person that can define who I am is me.
That's right. That's right.
I think that's really true. But I also, as a person who is, throughout the internet, people say horrible things.
There's no need
for
that.
Horrible things all the time. And it is very, very different if you're up on a Jumbotron that becomes the most watched video of the entire year.
It is. And I there is that distinction. But for a person who's going through a very public situation in their own microcosm, which is a Jumbotron for them, it's different. But again, so my apologies for the judgment that I passed based on what I had read.
Because you didn't know that you were separated.
I didn't know that you were separated.
And you didn't know that he was separated.
No, it was because I went by the narrative.
Well, that's a major factor.
But irrespective of that, I would have never, ever, ever said something mean or wished death upon. That's just unacceptable.
But I think that this is. Thank you so much for sharing that, and thank you so much for being willing to admit that you were in judgment, because the whole world was actually. And I would have to say that in this moment, I think it's really important for we as the human species to look at how we are participating in the comments and the global discussions, because does a person deserve death threats because they made a mistake? Think of all the mistakes we've made in our lives. Think of all the things you wish had not been seen, or you wish you hadn't done that or said that or whatever. And it gets, replicated 300 billion times. And now people are threatening your life and the life of your children. They're parked outside your house and your number is all over the world. I mean, just think about that for a moment. I am really sorry that you had to go through that.
Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to talk about it.
And I know it took a lot for you to do this today.
I do have to say, if I can interrupt, and I'm sorry, at the center of the trauma for me is how women have treated me. And it was really scary to come here and sit in the center of a room full of primarily women, just kind of looking at me like, this is really, really terrifying. But I have to say, I do feel a lot of warmth in the room. So I want to thank the people here. It was almost, I almost couldn't do it because of the audience.
And you still said yes.
Well, my daughter told me yesterday morning when I dropped her at school, and I was like, I'm so nervous. And she's like, Mom, this will be like therapy for you. You can do it. And I was like, oh, thank you. It does feel good.
Well, it does feel good.
It does feel good.
So I thank you for allowing me to.
Our kids, man. Our kids. They absorb, and they aren't you know, jaded by this world just yet. Not entirely. But they're aware of a lot more than we know. And even at 13, 14, 15, like teenage years, they're picking up on all this stuff. And if your child is the one that's saying, like, I believe this will help you, I think, yeah, in a way, it was helping. That child thought it was helping that mom too. But I think her mom taking and opening herself up to listening what her own child had to say about it positively, like making a positive choice, having her mom's good intentions, her mom actually listening and respecting her, it helps with the child as well, because I'm sure the child felt so powerless in all of this too. Even though it wasn't directed at her daughter or son, daughter, whoever, what gender it was, I'm sure they felt like they were being victimized too, and they felt very powerless to help their mom in any way. And so her mom inviting that advice in and taking it probably really helped her child as well. Let's wrap this up.
Be your first interview. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
For sure. Thank you, those of you who are watching. I'll see you next time. Go well, everybody. Go well. Good job.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
They do go more like there's like an after thing too, and she stands up and answers some more questions and stuff, but I don't know. It's worth like watching again on your own time if you want to. You don't really hear every point the first time around. But disclaimer, that interview had nothing to do with a certain couple in this community. No way whatsoever. And maybe that's why, was it Salem that asked the question? Because no, I think some wrong choices and decisions were made. By the woman in that situation. And as much as like, yeah, we want to be women standing up for women and having their backs, but that person had already shown to me who they were and what they are capable of doing to other people, me being one of them. So, I mean, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Forgive, but not forget. Blah, blah, blah. All right. Yeah. I guess. Seek out truth before you make the judgment. I don't know. I know nothing, Jon Snow. I am just here to entertain. I am a talking head, and I talk out of my ass quite a bit. So I'm going to go now. Happy Monday. I did not get to everything that I wanted to get to, but I enjoyed this time. It wasn't entirely just fun and games, because life is not always fun and games. Sometimes you need a lesson to learn, and that's great, because if you think you are a perfect person right now, you are I don't want to say any bad words. All right. If you think that you are done growing in this life and you have things figured out and you can clock everybody, I've got that person figured out, I've got that person figured out, and all you're going to do is spit out your opinions and taking over what other people should be thinking for themselves, you're going to just take over their mind and say, Christy's a bad person. Blah, 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 blah. Guess what? Christy is not a bad person. She has great intentions. She is my friend. And also, Joe Flipperhead, Nick, he is my friend too. And I'm sick and tired of seeing good people getting a bad rap. And you're trying to suppress them and take away their truths, I guess. All those words that everybody want to say. They're my people. They have been nothing but good to me. And I just know. Put it that way. I've been around here. I've been figuring things out. I've been observing. I've been seeing. But all in all, girls, women, we could do better. Especially when you are sitting there being entertained by a man, an angry man, trying to take over the narrative and hurt women, shame women, call women horrible names, hope they die in a fire. I'm talking about purple. Shaming their bodies, calling them one thing when actually they're not that thing. I am being so vague, but seriously, gross. Ew. But if you're entertained by it, okay. Until you are the content yourself. All right, y'alls. It's Monday. I hope that you had possibly maybe thought some thoughts, thinking some thinks, reassessing some shit. Ducks were fed. I plowed these YouTube streets to the best of my ability or not. Hey, most important thing is to love yourself. Loving yourself does not mean that you need to hate on others. That's fucked up. If you put out negative energy, it's coming for you. Hey, I love you guys. The people's in this chat, you took the time to be here. You contributed. You contributed your thoughts and your opinions in that chat. And it was very much appreciated. Before you leave, please like this video. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Come back or not. And share it. Sharing is caring. And if you are so inclined, become a member. For members' eyes only. Hey, love yous. Okay? All right, Monday. We came, we saw, we chatted. And remember, everybody, say it with me. First, again, gotta tell you, I love you. I love you, 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 love you. And long live Esther Reed. Bye, till next time.
They told you to shrink yourself, didn't they? To make yourself small, quiet, and easy to swallow. They said your fire was too much, that your desires were too wild, that you should be ashamed of the hunger in your soul. But here's the truth they won't tell you. The world fears women who know what they want. They fear women who refuse to play by the rules, who aren't afraid to burn everything down just to feel alive. You were never meant to fit in their little box. You were born to shatter it. They want you tamed because they can't handle the storm that's inside you. But why should you apologize for being powerful? For wanting more than a life of empty smiles and shallow conversations? You deserve to be wild, to be unruly, to take up space unapologetically. Stop dimming your light for people who can't handle your shine. Remember this, the ones who fear your power will always try to silence it, but your voice was never meant to be quiet.